Hey guys, what is up? Roshi is here. Got another deck for you. This one is Expedition. Full disclosure, my goal when I was making this deck is I wanted to play Ayur, I wanted to hit my opponents with it, and then I wanted to play Send an Envoy afterwards. I never was able to pull this off. My opponents would either die first, or I wouldn't draw the cards in order, or my Ayur would just die, or whatever. So, yeah, I was never able to pull it off. And if I'm being perfectly honest, if you replaced this Send an Envoy with literally any other card, like Annihilate, or some other unit with Ultimate, it would probably be better. Sad truth, but that will make the deck cheaper for you guys since it is a legendary. But this is the deck as it was, so we'll do the deck tech with the deck as it was in the gameplay. And you can decide for yourself if you want to keep the Send an Envoys in or just play some random removal spell. So let's just cruise through the deck. Pretty standard Merry Mandrake shell. We've got Speed Grafter. This lets us give stuff charge, and we'll also draw us a card off our Merry Mandrake. Cycling the Great Kudzu can be a great way to gain some life, even if you don't actually even want to cast it. Sometimes you want to just give charge to Ayur or something else, and you'll pull it out of your market and then put it right back in, and then pull it out and put it right back in. You can do that. It's fine. I do it all the time. Next up, Vine Grafter. This kind of fits with the cycle theme. One of the ones we'll be getting with this is Shoal Stirrings. This will let you get back your dead Vine Grafters, your dead Mandrakes, and your dead Fly Traps. If you're super high rolling, you can get a Kudzu back. One thing you can do is, if you have some discard, you could totally throw some Urid in here. But I didn't really make room for discard in this list, so we'll go ahead and ignore that. Moving along, we've got Seasoned Spelunker, another ultimate guy. With our Porcelain Masks, we are able to power this guy up and also have the option of ramping thanks to his ability. He's pretty cool. Honestly, potentially a shell that would be better with Seasoned Spelunker would be if we were playing Hourglass and 8 Vows and maybe Katra. But I opted not to do that. I just wanted something a little different. I wanted some big booty boys, so didn't go that route. Goliath Flytrap, summon Plunder Ultimate at the start of your turn, play Silence. Plunder is super good for Send an Envoy. That's why we're playing 4 Exploits and 4 Flytraps, and sometimes I'll even play Alchemist as well if I want to. And this will make sure that, you know, sometimes it's really hard to have power in your hand for the Send an Envoy, but if you're playing all these Plunder effects, you'll be able to, you know, get 2 or 3 Titans out of this guy, or 3 Sentinels, and that's all it takes to really close out a game. This card can be quite efficient at what it does. Next up, we've got a Lead. A Lead will absolutely decimate games where he does not die. He has a fantastic ultimate ability. We can refresh one of our used Vine Grafters, one of our used Speed Grafters. If something's permafrost, you just bounce it to the top of your deck. If Merry Mandrake is in play, that card will be drawn immediately, get doubled in power and health, and just, it's crazy. This guy pops off. He does not see the play he deserves, especially in Merry Mandrake lists, and we're definitely playing him here. Now, don't feel obligated to go craft 4 of these. You know, there's other ultimate cards you could play. You could also just play the basic Mandrake version of this list. But, you know, you don't come to me for any of that weak shit. We're here for the cool... I'm just kidding. We'll move along. Ayur. I've come to the conclusion that Ayur is the secret spice to make any deck better. People are throwing around Fell Rocks, they're throwing around equalizes, they're playing discard effects that hit both players, like Sunless Priest and other stuff like that. And if they accidentally yeet an Ayur into play, you just win the game. Like, you just spaghetti a 7/7 into play out of nowhere, just for free, and your opponent lost. And even if they don't do that, you can give it charge and just get some really nice surprise, like, draw 2 to 6 power off the top of your deck, and you know, and even if it says, like, so when Ayur hits the enemy player, you get all of the power and you bottom the rest of it, but you're still thinning a lot of power out of your deck. And you're basically guaranteeing you're going to hit all of your power drops for the next few turns, have plenty of market fodder, plenty of plunder fodder, discard fodder, all of that, and thanks to Porcelain Mask, we're able to give it Overwhelm, so kind of the dream is to use Speed Grafter to give it charge, have a Porcelain Mask in play, maybe silence one of their units at this meantime, maybe silence a Desert Alchemist if you're being spicy, and that way you guarantee your Ayur is going to slap your opponent and give you that juicy refill. Thanks to Xenan Silex and Broken Contract, some of the power you'll be ripping will actually be giving you value or bodies on the board. Next up, Suffocate, one of the best ways to just deal with annoying stuff in the format right now. This pairs up with our Sendin Agent as our removal package, and does a pretty solid job. Exploit, there are a few combo decks in the format, some other mid-range decks. I probably don't need to defend Exploit to you by now. The fact that it plunders and just picks away your opponent's best card can be all it takes to close out a game. Next up, Send an Envoy. I've talked about it a few times, but this card can really close out games. Sometimes you're getting flooded, or, you know, I'll hit 6 power and I'll stop playing power, and then I'll just slam Ascendant Envoy for 3 or 2, and that is 15. Let's say I do this for 3, so it'll make 1 itself, and then I put 2 power into play. That is 15 power and toughness on the board, and if you don't die and like get to untap, like that is so much tempo. So this card can really pack a punch, and I was really excited to brew with it, but I was never able to pull off the combo. But that doesn't mean this card was bad. So anyway, let's just take a look at the market. I'm playing Praxis Arcanum. This is just another way for me to give Ayur charge. Also can gain some life out of this, and slapping Deadly around's fine. Talir technically has an ultimate. I haven't pulled that one off in a while, but Merry Mandrake would technically have it, so it's technically an ultimate card, which is the best kind of correct. Shoal Stirrings, went over this. Buffs are void, bring some Mandrakes back, pretty straightforward. Speaking Circle, you should already know why this card is good. It'll give you outs to decks that you had no business having outs to. Against combo decks, you can sometimes just break up their combo for free. You'll just randomly rip all kinds of nonsense off of this card. You'll just rip lethal, or a removal spell, or damage, or attachment hate that you didn't have. Really a jack of all trades, and the icing on top is it also blows up opponents' sights. So yeah, moving on. The Great Kudzu, gain 3 life, and it has a pretty solid ultimate. Can just end games on its own if you're able to pull it off, and even if our Merry Mandrake is dead, 10 power is not that unrealistic for our deck. If we've hit our opponent with Ayur or done some ramping with Send an Envoy, it's very realistic that we'll be able to pay 10. So keep an eye out for that. We are playing 27 power, some other ramp, tons of plunder effects, so we can easily get to 10. Cruel, kind of in the same boat as Kudzu. I talked about it earlier. Very, very strong fate effect here. We'll just cycle him in and out of our market, bring back our Mandrakes, bring back whatever. Usually cheap stuff, but if you're super late in the game, have at it, bring back a big spaghetti guy, live your best life, don't let me stop you. And that's the deck. I had a pretty obscene win rate when I played it, and I've still done pretty well with it, even after the latest set drop. So, there aren't really any buried memory cards I would consider running, and so I wouldn't bother with, I didn't bother with making any changes. There wasn't anything that was changed about it, and the deck still works. So, have fun playing with it. Let me know how you do in the comments. Catch out the gameplay video, see me live on Twitch, join me on Discord, or follow my Patreon, and thanks for watching, guys.